What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here with Dilly Vanilli. We are here to break down, predict, and preview the Washington Redskins 2019 NFL season. The Redskins are a franchise kind of in transition. An unfortunate thing happened last year where they traded for Alex Smith. They looked like they were going in a good direction. Alex Smith was leading them to victories. They were even in the playoff conversation. Alex Smith gets injured. He may never play again, so they have to transition into the future with Jay Gruden as their head coach. And how long will he remain their head coach? I think this is a big season for him to prove something or at least get something out of this roster that has very, very interesting talent. Like Dwayne Haskins, like the pick, like the value. Of course, they get Montez Sweat in the first round as well. And a receiving core that's very interesting because it's unproven. A defense that's kind of underrated, but they're within a division that is so difficult at the top of it that it makes it very hard for me to believe that they are going to be a team to compete for this division crown. I think the Redskins are a team that have talent, but they're a team that, like I said, is in that transition. I like what they're doing, and that says a lot because the Redskins are a team and a franchise traditionally that have not made the right decisions. But I think this past draft and some of the free agency signings and some of the things they've done, I think is moving in the right direction. But in 2019, I don't think it's going to apply to their record. Like, I think their direction is better than their record. And that's what I want you guys to understand when we're talking about this team. Dylan, what's your record for the Redskins? What do you see in this team in 2019?
My record for the 2019 Washington Redskins is a 6-10 record. The thing about this team is that, again, we're in a really competitive NFC conference here. It's going to be stacked from top to bottom. A lot of teams are going to be fighting for it. And I like what the Redskins have got going forward, as you brought up. But it's just right now in this particular year, it's going to be very difficult for them to hit that mark that they want to hit, or the mark that, the peak, if you will. Going through their team, I think their wide receiver group is pretty weak, in my opinion. Josh Dawson has never really proved to me that he's a number one receiver. He's had some hype coming out of TCU, and I really like the guy, but he has never proven to me in the NFL that he is that top receiver, so he's going to have to prove something. Trey Quinn is their starting slot guy, and he's a 7th-round pick from last year. He's not the best. We don't have a whole lot of film on him. Terry McLaurin, he was drafted in the 3rd round. He's going to have to be their starting receiver as well. You got Brian Quick, which you guys remember who Brian Quick is. There's not a whole lot of talent here for me. This is probably the weakest outfit for me. Their offensive line, I think, is okay in certain pieces and good in certain pieces. We got Brandon Sheriff, who I think is very good in this league, but we got Eric Flowers on the other side of him. So, kind of balances out. Jordan Reed, if this man could stay freaking healthy, he would be one of the best tight ends in this game. But unfortunately, he hasn't been healthy, I think, since he debuted in this game. So, unfortunately, I can't say anything about him. Now, the best thing for me on this offense is their new quarterback, Dwayne Haskins, who I think will start in week 1. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm going to go with him as the quarterback. I think he's got a lot of hype in him. He basically fell in their laps at pick 15 because the Giants did not pick him. So I think he's got that upside for me that I really like, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. More than anything else, I'm looking forward to see how he fits in this role, and I think the Redskins will give him the key more than maybe any other rookie quarterback that's going to get the key this year. Darius Geis. Let's not talk about Madden here, but let's talk about his actual gameplay. He's coming back. He was torn ACL in the preseason last year. Very unfortunate surgery.
For nobody that got that reference, I played him in Madden, just so you guys know.
And he did not play me. He just flat out ignored me.
And anyway,
and you beat Darius Geis. There you go. Anyways, it was an unfortunate circumstance last year that he did not get to play. I thought coming into the draft that he was in, he was the 3rd or 4th best running back, and I really liked his potential coming out of LSU. Let's see how he does it. He's also going to be there with Adrian Peterson, who pretty much came back into the fold in 2018. It was a good story there. So we'll see if those two guys do something, but I like the duo more than anything else. Defensively, they got some really good pieces that I'll touch on very quickly. Jonathan Allen, I think, is good. Deron Payne last year is coming in here as well as good. Montez Sweat, I think, was a steal I don't remember exactly what pick they got him, but they got him in the late first round. Really like that. John Bostic, Ryan Kerrigan is still their leader. The thing that I have to question here is their secondary, because although they have good guys like Landon Collins here, they're paying him the most amount of money in the league, and they're paying Josh Norman the most amount of money in the league. And are they worth it? I don't really know. Like, I like Landon Collins. I think I like him more than the guy over there, but I don't think he's worth that much amount of money, especially with all the money that was given to safeties this year. Like, it was a loaded free agency class. I feel like you could have gotten somebody a little bit lower and not have to pay as much, and I think he would have still done the same thing. And then you're going with Josh Norman, who I think has fallen off in quality the last 3 years. He hasn't gotten as much production as he did in that 1 year with Carolina. So for me, it's a little bit questionable in that secondary, but I do think they have some good pieces. Overall, I think this team will not be a sinking ship. It'll be a step in the right direction. I think 6-10 for me is a fair record. I like what they're doing a lot more in their future than what the Giants are doing, for example, in this division. But right now is not the year. This year is not going to be the year where they win this division, in my opinion. I will go in with 6-10.
Yeah, I'm along the same note as Dylan. I think I'm going 5-11, and the reason is because I don't think they have the quarterback play. I don't think they have the playmakers to really get anything done in terms of competing for this division. And their defense is okay, but it's not fantastic. It's not good enough to carry a football team. But I do like Dwayne Haskins. I do like the future of him going forward. And Darius, guys, shout out to Darius. He hopefully is healthy, but he's already dealing with some injury issues, and that's concerning to me. I don't know how healthy he's going to be coming into the season. I don't know how consistent he's going to be on the football field, which is very concerning early on in his career, already with the torn ACL, a little bit kind of inconsistent on the practice field in terms of just nagging injuries, and that's concerning. Adrian Peterson's basically playing for money at this point in his NFL career. He's basically gone broke. Hopefully can have another amazing season. That was the best thing about the Redskins last season to me, was just seeing Adrian Peterson running for 1,000 yards after everybody on earth thought that he was done and it was finished for him. He went out there and had a fantastic year for his standards at this point in his career. That's pretty amazing to me. I do like their running back group with Chris Thompson in there as well, who I love as a receiving running back, and Samaje Perine as well, and just a couple of other guys that they have there. Just a nice group of running backs that I think if this team had better receivers, it'd be a good complement to their passing game. This is a run-first team, though. Without Trent Williams, my concern, I don't know, is he coming back? Are they going to pay him? What's going on with him? I think that's a big question mark for this offensive line. When he's on the field, he's one of the best left tackles in the game, and at points in his career, he's been the best left tackle in the game. So that's a big concern, especially if there's Christian taking over for him. You got Eric Flowers at left guard. That's concerning already. You know, the right side of the offensive line is pretty good, but if you don't have those pieces on the offensive line and you're a run-first offensive line and you have a rookie quarterback, that's not going to turn out too well. That's not going to turn out to victories. That's going to be a lot of pressure on your young quarterback. That's going to be not a very consistent running attack. And with these receivers, Josh Doxson, you said it, he's just not proven himself. Paul Richardson, I think, is more of a number 2 than a number 1. Calvin Harmon, I like the value in the draft pick, but he's a rookie. You can't expect much there. They just don't have a ton at this position. Defensively, Jonathan Allen, Daron Payne, this is a good defensive line. I think this is one of the more underrated kind of interior defensive lines in football. Montez Sweat, I'm hopeful he can be good in his rookie season, but he is taking over for Preston Smith, who is pretty solid in his own right, who headed over to Green Bay. John Bostic is going to be your starting middle linebacker alongside or taking over for Zach Brown, who left to Philadelphia. So that's a downgrade to me. Ryan Kerrigan is still there, one of the more underrated players season in, season out in the NFL, just a consistent pass rusher, consistent force off the edge, but he's getting older. Fabian Moreau needs to take a step up this season. He's been inconsistent. Sometimes he's good, sometimes he's not so good. Landon Collins, you said it, overpaid, but he'll definitely upgrade that position at strong safety. Josh Norman, overpaid, but he does have his moments. I want to see Josh Norman match up more in terms of taking on the number one receivers. A lot of times he does not. A lot of times he plays aside. Maybe that's the scheme, but to me, if you're paying this guy that much money, he needs to prove that he's worth that much money, or you need to move on. So when I'm looking at this roster, I do like the young pieces on the defense. I do like some of the young pieces on the offense as well. But with those elements that I find concerning, like the quarterback, wide receiver, and even the offensive line, I can't say that this team is going to be a competitor within this tough division. So I am going with a 5-11 record. I said it once, I'll say it again. I like where the Redskins are going as an organization, but that's not going to add up to victories in 2019. Let me know and let Dylan know what you guys think of the Redskins in 2019. Do you love them? Do you hate them this season? Do you think they'll be better than last year, about the same, or do you think they're going to take a step back? Do you agree with us in terms of, okay, they're taking steps forward, but maybe that doesn't really turn out in the record? Let us know in the comments section below. Gronk spike the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's Mitch and Dylan. Thanks for watching. Peace out.